Hey adventurers, this is Jerry from AdventurousJeriLynn. Today we're going to talk about car versus SUV, why you use a chase vehicle for RVing. If you've noticed, I'm starting off in the garage. This is probably going to be a future video. Try to sell the Corvette. It's a 73 Stingray. Beautiful, but that's in a future video, so keep watching. Okay, all jokes aside, so today I wanted to talk about what a lot of people, they have the pros and cons. What is the best thing to do? Should you chase your RV? Should you tow? Not, scratch that. Do you want to chase your RV in a SUV or a car? Or do you want to tow it behind the trailer? Well, there's a lot of ways that you can do this. I think what the hubby and we decided to do is we chose to go with the car method of chasing the SUV. We decided to use a car instead of an SUV to chase the trailer. And I'll tell you why at the end. But first, let's get started. I'm going to give you the car pros, and then I'm going to give you the SUV pros. Okay, let's see. So car versus SUV, why use a vehicle for RVing? I got my little notes here in case I forget. The plus side for a car is it's better on gas mileage. You're easier to maneuver around. Like say if you want to jump ahead and see what the traffic flow is, while the hubby's back here in the truck and in the trailer. You can do a lot of things, like maybe I wanted to go and grab coffee, or maybe I wanted to see what the traffic, or if it's backing up or what have you. A lot of times you may be in an area where you don't have a good cell signal, and you can't always just go by your old way like I still like to have an atlas, a paper atlas, so I can have maps to the back road, what have you, in case the interstate, has an accident or what have you, or for a lot of construction, the city's getting backed up, you want to know your back way. Always have an alternate route, but let's stay focused. Okay, so going ahead of the truck and the trailer, that's also a plus. You can buy a car a lot cheaper than, buying an SUV, whether it's new or used. It's just going to be a lot cheaper. The maintenance is going to be better. The tires are smaller, so when it comes time when you want to replace your tires and upgrade, maybe get like a 50,000 or a 70,000 mile tire. It's just it's just cheaper. Oil changes, just upkeep, just regular maintenance. Cheaper if you go with a car chase vehicle. When you chase the trailer, you can see things that go wrong. Maybe there's a blowout. We have a dual axle on our cargo trailer, and I could probably telephone ahead and say, hey honey, there's maybe it's setting wrong, or maybe it's smoking or whatever. You can see what's going on, so that way he can pull off to the side. And let's see, the SUV, you have extra storage. What if you're tiny like us? We have a 7x16 cargo trailer. You don't have enough storage, so you can use your back seat as the because they have second and third row in your SUV. You can have like a bar across where you can hang up your clothes, so that can be an extra storage. So if you're like me and I'm trying to purge all my clothes, from downsizing from house to RV, you have some place until you start, getting out there on the road and seeing, what do I need? Like, do I really need 20 pair of jeans? No. Or what have you. Or do I need 30 jackets? You want to start, going smaller and smaller, minimize. Going back to the car, less storage, and you can get more gas mileage. You have a better gas mileage in a car than you do an SUV. But going back to the SUV, sorry, I don't want to go back and forth. You get less miles per gallon. when you go with a SUV. But there's perks too, because like I said, you can have your second or third row and have extra storage for your clothing, or if you want to have like extra blankets or what have you, you can store that. Maybe your extra water, you know, you get those 5 and 7 gallons of water that you can put in the back seat, so you can have extra water on you in the SUV. It's gonna stay cool because you're in the car. I mean, you're in the SUV and it's temperature control. Like if you're in hot temperature climate, you can have the air on and then the water stay cool, and vice versa. You know, you don't have to worry about it freezing or what have you. If you need extra space, maybe sometimes you just need to get away from your significant other or whoever you're traveling with, and maybe you want to just lay down in the back seat of the SUV and just, I'm gonna sleep in the SUV tonight. You can have the trailer. Hey, been married 23 years. Anything's possible. You need that space sometimes. In case you have like a little tiff, a little argument, you just want to get away. Maybe you got on each other's nerves earlier, and you know, if you make it comfortable enough, not saying that you have to go and get an air mattress or anything like that, but what you can do is you can make it comfortable. And since I'm more open, I wouldn't mind sleeping in the back of SUV. Just, you know, crack the windows, and yeah, you can have the cargo trailer tonight. It's also more expensive with the SUV. There's a lot more upkeep. Tires, you're going to go through tires more because, you know, you're on the road. If you're whether you're doing it on the weekend or if you're going full time like we want to, you're going to go through those tires a lot faster. So when you get a bigger vehicle, the SUV, you know, you're going to have 20s, 18 size, 22s maybe. Those tires are a lot more expensive compared to if you had a car as a chase vehicle. So I wanted to get to a little story why I even thought about an SUV / because that's what I was looking for. If you look at my previous videos, I said, you know, I want to sell my car. I have a 2015 Chevy Malibu. And I just thought, just for practicality, as far as storage, I just told you about the sleeping, all these different things, all the perks. We could have water, food, extra clothes, extra blankets, what have you, if we're going in cold climate. You know, the only bad thing about having a car when you're going somewhere, let's see, if I wanted to recline, that's not where I want to go with this. Okay, so it's possible. I'm gonna scratch that. I'm losing my train of thought here. Okay, the reason why we finally made a decision, the reason why we're going with a car, because in previous videos I said I wanted an SUV, is because for all the positive things that I did say early in the video. Reason being, if by chance we are stranded, 2 years ago on our maiden voyage, we had a hiccup. We took the cargo trailer. We had my husband's 07 Chevy Avalanche, and we drove from Indiana 500 miles down to a state park in Georgia. We were there a day or two. On our way home back to Indiana, the truck engine blew an hour off, about an hour after we checked out from the state park. And I told the hubby, instead of taking I-75, I said, well, let's go the back roads. And, you know, wind our way back through the Smoky Mountains where we eloped 23 years ago, but that's a whole nother story. And he says, I don't want to go back to the scene of crime. You know, that's where we got married. It's just a joke in between us. And so I said, no, you know, let's just try a different way. Thank goodness we did. An hour after we checked out, we got stranded. The truck was kind of acting like kind of wonky, crazy, moving like, it was just like stuttering like. So we are lucky to pull inside a gas station. We made it off the road into a gas station. Fast forward, we had to rent not one, but two U-Hauls. He towed the truck, the 2007 truck, and I had to tow the cargo trailer. So here we are, 500 miles away. We're both following each other with two U-Hauls, his truck, and then our cargo trailer. So we said from then, and you know, of all times for it to break down, you know, we weren't on the road for like years or something. It was our very first, you know, maiden voyage, but we learned a lot from that. It was like close to 100 degrees. Not only did we have to hitch one vehicle, we had to hitch two. My husband was hot and tired. I was hot and tired. And then we had to get the dolly to put the truck on. And it was just crazy. So we never wanted to be that far from home. We knew a couple people in Georgia, but you know, what are you going to do? You're going to let us borrow your truck to tour? I mean, it is what it is. This is where you have plans. This is where you got to have a checklist. You got to have a backup. You have to have a plan A, B, and C. Sometimes a D. You don't always want to just go out there all willy-nilly and not have a backup plan. We've learned that. So I guess when I look back, it was a blessing to learn this is what we need to prepare for. So that's why we came up with the chase vehicle, where if by chance, God forbid, if either one, even though a car couldn't tow our trailer, but at least we'd have a vehicle so we could get off the road and go get help if, say, we're in an area there's no cell signal or what have you. Our chances of having two vehicles that can drive compared to one, we just didn't want to be stranded. And again, you know, if the car doesn't work, it's 100 degrees, you can only roll down the window, then you're hot, and the air conditioner can't run your vehicle. We're in a strange town. They didn't have taxis. They didn't have Lyft or Uber or anything like that. So we were just stranded. I had to go to inside the gas station and ask him, I said, you know, do you have such and such? And he's like, no. So I had to end up asking people who were coming in to get gas, which is I didn't want to, while my husband stayed in the truck. I'm standing outside the gas station asking everybody to come in. And, you know, they know I'm not lying. All you got to do is look at my plate. It says Indiana. I got a truck and I got a trailer, and they're both from Indiana. I'm so like, oh, hey, I'm sorry. My husband and we need to get to the U-Haul before they close at 5. At this time it was about 3:30. So it was crunch time. It was like an hour and a half left before the U-Haul was going to close. This was a Friday. And, you know, I don't know if U-Haul was open Saturday and Sunday there. Again, it's a small town. So we couldn't walk fast enough to get there, you know, to get the U-Haul to come back. So the last person, it was a husband and wife and a family. And I asked him, I said, sir, and I said the same spiel. I said, sir, excuse me, my husband and I pointed to my husband. I said, we're from Indiana. We're down here on vacation. You know, our camper, even though it looks like a cargo trailer, I said, it's a camper. We're stranded. His engine blew. Is there a way that you can drive either one of us to a U-Haul before it closes at 5 to get a U-Haul so we can, you know, tow our vehicle? And he says, I'm sorry, you know, he's in a rush. He's got his family, and he pointed. So I went back I said, thank you very much, sir. And I walked back to the truck, and I got in the truck with Robert. Yeah, it's 100 degrees. My face is just like, I'm out here sweating. He's out here sweating. We're stressed. We're losing hope. By this time, it's like 4:30 after I was probably out there a good hour and a half asking every person that came in the gas station, could they help us? Could they help us? And everybody's like, no. And some didn't even want me to get out the whole sentence. They're just like, you know, busy. So this last person I asked, he said, no, I'm sorry, we're going somewhere, whatever the story is. He gets back in his van. I get back in the truck with Robert, and I look at him. So we're parked. The gas station is right here. We're on the left side of the gas station. Him and his wife and their kids, they come up to us. So now it's like a T. And I look at Robert, and I'm like, and you know how you're just stressed so bad that you, not boohoo crying, but just tears are running down my face because I'm just so like, oh my gosh, we're stranded here for I don't know how long. So he pulls up, and you could tell that his wife is saying something like, hey, what did she say to you? And then he went and probably told her. So he pulled up to the truck, because again, we had the windows down. And he says, how far is the U-Haul? And I said, well, we looked on the phone. It's just like a mile and a half. But, you know, with my bad back and the heat, my husband's, you know, health, we knew we couldn't make it, and we don't know where we're at. And, you know, what if somebody, you know, stranger danger, God forbid, you're walking and I get hit or I get snatched or what have, you know, you just think of a lot of different things. You're 500 miles away from home. So his wife says, go ahead and let her come in. I said, sir, if you don't mind, can I stay with my, the truck and the trailer? Can my husband go? Because again, I'm a woman, I don't know them, and he is more likely to protect himself being in a stranger's car, even though it's his family. You know, God was looking out for us today. That was our guardian angel. So my husband leaves. I lock both doors, even though the windows are down. He gets in there. He gets there at 4:59. The U-Haul place closes at 5. And the lady who was working there said if we didn't get there by 5, she was going to send her husband to our location, because we was telling them, you know, our backstory. Hey, we're from Indiana. I know you guys close. We can't find nobody. We don't know anybody here. And she said she was going to send somebody, her husband. Well, anyway, so my husband gets in the car with this couple, husband and wife. The kids are in the back, and for some reason, they get to talking about the railroad. Well, Atlanta is, you know, the hub of Norfolk Southern. And, you know, they're talking about trains and weather and all this other stuff. And they both love trains. And long story short, he gets there a minute before they close. He gets the U-Haul, comes back and gets me. Then we tow. I take that back. He comes and gets me. We leave the truck and the trailer there. We go back to get the second U-Haul. So then what we had to do was, even though the truck was like kind of overheating, doing all kind of crazy stuff, we end up hitching both the truck and the SUV. Why do I keep saying that? We hitched the truck and the cargo trailer, and then we followed each other. Yeah, I'll put a picture at the end. And then we just drove back to Indiana. So sorry I didn't mean a long story into that, but just to let you know that if you ever been stranded, no cell signal, you're out of small town and everything closes by 5, you know, what do? You improvise, you do the best you can. And my husband got their address, and he sent them, he says, well, we got some really good pizza here. We like to frequent this place in Chicago, had the best deep dish. So my husband sent his family, his wife and kids family, some pizza, the deep dish pizza, as a thank you, because they wouldn't take money. They would not take our money. We like begged. I'm like, ball. But at this time, I'm so relieved. I'm like, ball, like, thank you so much. It is what it is, you know. Things happen. But we tried to give him money. He wouldn't take money. He said, well, give me your address, and then we'll send you. And they start, like I said, talking about food, railroad, weather, all this stuff, like this heat or something else, you know, what have you. So anyway, SUV versus car. Why use a chase vehicle for RVing? Because you don't want to be like me in the hubby and be stranded in a city far, far from home. You know, you don't want to be stranded. All right. Long story. You're going to get used to me in these long stories. Anyway, so you guys take care. Think about it. Have a chase vehicle if you can. And if you don't do chase vehicle, maybe tow. Have something separate, because you can't always rely on a taxi or Uber or Lyft or anything. Or, you know, say you're in a town with your family and stuff. Maybe they're not in town, or maybe they're busy. You know, you live and learn. So anyway, you guys take care. I love you, family. Thanks for... kind of crazy here. You guys come back every single Monday. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Put a comment below. Tell me if you've ever been stranded. Yeah, it's something else and makes you rethink. But you live and learn, and that's something we could, I'm telling the story with you. It sounds a lot better after a couple drinks. But anyway, all right, love you, family. You take care. We'll see you out on the open road. Bye-bye.